Is I want to say evening. It's almost morning. It's 11:27, 28 here at the in the Bat Cave. Well, you're probably wondering how did this get all cluttered up again? Well, I have to take you out back to show you what is going on. And this coming Friday, well, let me just take you out there first. Let's do that. Yeah, everything got cluttered up in here again. But over the next couple of days, we're going to remove the rest of these records and utilize these shelves. I'm also going to start building some shelves underneath my my counter over there, where I do my sculpting. So, okay, it's dark. Forgive me. So, wait a minute. Say hello, whoever's on with me, maybe. Anyway, what do you see out here? This is the big reveal. We are ripping the deck off as of Friday. I don't have time. I'm going to do my mold some way. I'm going to do my sculpture in the midst of all this. But yeah, we took everything out of here. And I've already started taking this bench down, popped all the screws out of it. Now you might be asking, okay, why are you ripping this whole deck down? Well, the answer is it's really badly sloping downhill, literally. I had to cut up those steps that were leaning against the back there. You've probably seen them on past videos. Took out my bench. We're ripping out all that old section over there. It's completely getting removed. But this is all going to be concrete pad. I want to put down a concrete pad. And yes, there'll be steps. I'm going to also put steps on the end of the, right there at the very end. That's where the end of the deck will be. And then there'll be steps going down onto this area will all be concrete. This will all be concrete. My concrete is going to stay within the boundaries of this post. So it'll probably fall, like if you will line it up with this post to the wall, which I'm not really sure. And it's pretty close to that window. It's probably like right in here. The concrete's going to fall right along here. And I'm going to keep the concrete on the inside of the post all the way around the entire thing. It's pretty much square. The reason why I'm doing this is because the deck is literally collapsing on that end. From where I am against my house wall to this post, it's nice and level. But from here all the way out, it's literally sinking about 2.5 to 3 inches. So it feels like you're going down a hill. And the soil underneath it here is real soft. It was never packed right. But more importantly, the guy that installed the porch never put footings in and used cinder blocks, and just it was horrible. And I was using all 2x12s. I had 2x12s, and it's heavy. It's a heavy deck. This isn't light. These are all 2x12s underneath this deck, joists. And the reason why I planned that was because I wanted to make sure that it would support I was going to put a jacuzzi out here. So now that this whole section back here is getting ripped, it's going to have to be ripped out anyway, or fixed. We were going to go fixing it, but right now lumber costs a fortune. So I've decided to do away with fixing this, and some of the old boards from about here across all the way over, and all that over there is all very old wood. This stuff is all newer wood in here, all the way up to about there. You can see that where it's gray over there. So it goes out from that corner of where the the benches, from that corner all the way across, all over there is all rotten wood. It's all got to be ripped out. The deck boards are no good. So I've decided, okay, what would be cheaper? It's probably going to cost me, I'm going to get the harder concrete because I'm going to do a 4-inch pad here. Uh, and this is roughly 24 by 25, 24 foot by 25 foot pad. And there's benefits to having the concrete pad. The one bad benefit, which I'm probably going to set my tables up over here. We're ripping this section of deck all the way down the end. There is all going to get ripped out, and that's going to be permanently gone. There won't be any concrete there. There'll be a flower bed there, but I won't be able to do molds on top of the concrete because I don't want my plaster sticking to my concrete. Obviously, I can still do some latexing out here, but I can't do the molds out on this porch once it's done. But I'll still have my landing on that side. It just doesn't have a covering like this here. So my plan is in the morning hours, because the sun goes from its east and then all the way over there it sinks in the west in the wintertime. It's weird. The wintertime, the sun sets about right there. In the summer, it sets right at even with this wall at the peak of summer. So right now it's sinking right about here somewhere. By midwinter, it'll be over here. So it'll be kind of like on a direction the sun. And why I'm telling you that is because that side of the house all morning long is fully shaded. So I don't have to worry about the sun destroying my latex or getting the molds damaged. So I'm probably going to do the molds on the landing on that side in the morning hours. And then, once the molds are done. But we've been working our butts off here. I've been working hard. So it's this whole thing's getting ripped out and we're going to put concrete down. So, oh yes. And that starts Friday, by the way. Friday we start ripping this out. I've already started taking the bench down. I want to get that bench completely out of there by the time Friday gets here. This way he doesn't have to deal with that. I just want him to, the guy that's doing the job, I don't want him having to deal with that bench. That bench is a pain in the neck. There's a ton of screws in it. So I've been taking out the bench that I built to cover a vacant spot. It's kind of weird the way it's set up. The deck actually ends right underneath of this front panel here. All right, and then kind of cuts over. Somewhere's in this area, there's like a void right in underneath the step. So I was like, well, what am I going to do to match it up with the post? Because the deck ended here and the posts were all the way out here to match the side of the building. So I built a bench to hide the ugliness of the deck not reaching all the way out. So what we're going to do is we're going to concrete up to about there. And then there'll be a little bit of a cutout because right underneath the corner here, right by this post, underneath, my propane tank runs on an angle like this. And it's underneath this just a little bit. Actually, the lid's on the opposite side of the wall. I'll just show it to you. The lid's there, but the tank runs diagonally underneath the deck. All right, so the lid is right there, right at the end of the wall here. All right, you can still open it and still access it, but the tank runs this way. All right, so right here where the pads, my concrete pads end, this is where I'm going to end the concrete, and then I'm going to bring the concrete kind of over on an angle towards that post. All right, and then I'm going to put stone, river rock in this area here. And I'll put some kind of fake big boulder right over top of that lid that'll be fake and it'll be nice and light. You won't even see the gas lid. But yeah, I gotta I got it. See, the tank runs literally this way, and it goes out underneath the deck just a little bit. I didn't know the tank was running this way. I thought the tank was running back this way diagonally, and it was going out that way. Thank God it isn't. So I can actually fix this with no problem. But this is what I'm dealing with. And I already started taking all the boards, and they're not out. I got to get the screw gun and get them out on the bottom here and work my way down. There's quite a bit that still has to be done. The bench is going to be worked on all week. I won't be doing any kind of molding or sculpting or any of that stuff on video. Maybe I'll bring the camera out and I'll show you what I'm doing, taking the deck apart. But who the hell wants to watch me tear down a deck? What's so fascinating about that, you know? So, yeah, it's just chaotic. You know, I can't function like this. There's no way I can keep functioning. Feeling like I'm on a slant hill. You know, I might set up a tent out here at some point in the yard as a little workshop. Yeah, I had to take down all my saws. I took down my generator. Oh my God, there was a lot of work that had to be cleaned up out here. So we worked on that for the last 2 days. Actually got it done in 1 day. We got it cleared off in 1 day, which is pretty cool. And it all fit in my shed. I was lucky. It all fit in the shed. So it's all blocked in. You can't get anything out, and you're gonna go through hell trying to get it out of there. Plus, I pulled out the lawnmower and I blocked it in with that. So now the lawnmower is literally right to the back of the door of the shed, which reminds me I got to cut grass tomorrow. Fun. I'm going to cut grass, and I'm also going to start tearing out that bench and get this thing so where my guy that's coming over here to rip this thing down, he won't spend more than 1 or 2 days here, hopefully, you know. And I'm going to salvage all the wood. I mean, the stuff that's good, the rotted deck boards. Now the joists, they're all good underneath of here. They're real good because they've been covered, you know, so there wasn't any real water getting on the deck outside of what I made, you know, the watering that I created. So I'll be glad when this is ripped out. It's just ugly. It's ugly. It needs to be painted. Most of this boards had to be replaced, so I'm not going to mess with it. And it would have cost a fortune to fix I would have had to get, I guess, 2-ton jacks, multiple 2-ton jacks, maybe even 5-ton jacks, I don't know, to jack this thing up to bring it up to level. And I couldn't even do that because of the fact that in order to do that, we would have to literally take all the boards out from this post all the way across, because that's where it starts to sink from that point forward. The bench would have to be removed. All these boards would all have to be removed. And because of the angle of this wood, you would have really funky, a funky layout. You know, it'd be really tough to pull up the boards. If they were running straight back, you know, up and down, I'd be able to do it with no problem. Plus, right at this post, this was an addition added on to this existing deck. This deck was always here, this right here. This was here, but from the post out was an add-on, and that's where the screw up is, because one, the joists aren't lined up the way they are here. They run in different directions, or actually they're in the same direction, but they're not centered the same. All right, so because we had to, you know, put the joists in and couldn't line them up to the existing joists because we didn't use joist hangers. We also used screws and everything else to put the joists in. The guy really didn't do a good job putting the deck on. And at that point, when this deck was put on, we're talking many years ago. This deck, see, this porch is not this roof here was only added on about 7 years ago, this roof. And this deck's been here for at least 20 years. And it's not attached, which is really nice. These beams are not attached to this deck, or the deck's not attached to the beams. Not at all. It's self-supported, so that's a good thing. It'll be easier to rip up. We don't have to worry about unattaching anything from these posts. Now, the only two posts that I did use, and that was for the bench, were these two posts, and I have to take them off of there. See how it's connected to that post right here? That was the only two beams that I used, that I attached the deck to. And it's not connected down the bottom, it's only connected right here in this area all the way across. So that's basically what I've been doing for a couple of days. That's why you haven't seen me on. You haven't seen me doing any sculpting. I got so much stuff inside there. I have to get those records out of there, which that's going to happen probably Thursday. I'm going to get more of the crates. I'm going to have my nephew come over and take all those records upstairs. And then what I'm going to do is basically start filling my shelves up, putting everything away, try to give a place for everything. So this way I can really be organized in that studio. It's never really been organized thoroughly because there's not enough shelf space. So, and I really want to get it nice. I want to be able to put draw curtains down in the front of the all the tools and stuff that's on the shelves, because I can paint, I can do whatever I want, and I will not have to worry about getting everything painted. So it's just a lot of stuff to get ready and get it done. So I've been going crazy with all this stuff, and this is why I haven't been on the last couple of days. I got that costume done, the Jason Part 7, all the videos up for that. So if you guys want to look at those videos, that's done. But this deck has to be done. This has to be finished. I didn't even actually delay this at all. The timing was right on the money as far as when I planned on doing this. What wrecked my whole is retooling. When I retooled that sculpture several times and then had two failures with the mold process, and then had to retool each time, it got wrecked, the clay sculpture. So that kind of delayed everything as far as getting this mask ready for Halloween. I'm hoping I can get it done for Halloween. I don't know. I still got to mold it this week and see what happens. If you guys want to order a mask, you can. But I don't know. I don't know if I can actually get them done in time for this Halloween. It's going to be next year when I have all my sculpting. I'll have the area where I'm working all cleaned up. It just got too chaotic. I couldn't function out here and have a respectful looking back porch. It looked awful all the time. I'm like, I'm going to set up a tent outside. I'm also going to be building a greenhouse out there this year too. Definitely going to start prepping a little bit. Just never know. Next year I'm going to have a garden, an indoor garden for my, and I'm going to make a 16 by 6. I'm going to utilize most of the wood that's here on this deck. Why not? I'll make a greenhouse out there, really nice. I'll make a really nice greenhouse, a big one. I'm probably going to go 16 by 16, or maybe 20 by 16. We'll see. It'll definitely give me quite a bit of. It'll do quite a bit of vegetables, and I won't have to buy the wood. That's the nice thing about it. There won't be any. I won't have to buy any wood. I have all the wood right here, and I'll build a nice greenhouse. So I have that in the midst, probably in the mix of everything that's going on this winter. I just really want to get the property ready for, my kids. They can sell it. They can do whatever they want once we're dead and buried. And got 20 more years, roughly, of life. If I live if I live to be 80, I have 20 years. Most of my family died off in their 80s. My father died at the age of 56. He was very young. His mother died in her 40s. So anything can happen. I don't, there's no guarantee. Nobody's lived into the 90s. Nobody in my family has ever lived into their 90s. Everybody's died 81, 82 years old, that kind of thing. So I'm guessing that if I'm lucky, I'll see 80. If not, I have less time. But I don't really care. I don't sweat that kind of stuff. I just want to make sure that whatever I leave behind, it's not a headache for somebody. So I want to make sure that, it's all cleaned up and ready to go. We put a new septic system in, new bed. That was done last 2 years ago. Yeah, about 2 years now. So that's good for another 25 years. We put, now this is crazy. I'm going to say this because I'm going off of, but we put bidets in because it saves your septic system. You guys have septic systems. If you don't have to put toilet paper in that septic system, man, it saves you a lot of money. So I try not to use a lot of toilet paper. The girls use more toilet paper than the guys do. So when you have a bidet, I think it's funny. Never would have thought that I would have put one of those in my house. But you know what? If it saves you a ton of money with your septic system, because that was just putting a new bed in was $6,000. So it's crazy. And you only get about 20, 25 years out of a septic bed. So I don't want to have that headache for my kids later on down the road. So they may even sell the damn place. Who the hell cares? Let it be somebody else's headache. Selling my trailer, that's history. That's going to be gone. Somebody already wants it. So we're going to sell that, get rid of that. It'd only be me and my wife traveling. If I travel, it's just cheaper to just stay in a hotel than to drag that thing around. I don't find that thing very comfortable either, to tell you the truth. I bought it brand new in 2011 and never used it. So somebody's buying it from me, and they're going to get some good use out of it. It's crazy. It's 12 years old and never been used. It still smells new inside. It's nuts. But they know me. They know who I am. They've been over my house quite a bit, so they're going to sell that, or they're going to buy that. They already know that it's never been used. So, so we're getting a good penny for that, and pay that sucker off, get rid of it, make space, and I'm probably going to put my greenhouse on this side of the house, on this side of the property, as soon as this thing's moved out of here in the next couple of weeks. So we got a lot going on, man. We got the trailer disappearing, the deck's going to disappear. We're going to put a concrete pad down. That's got to happen fairly soon, because I don't want to be out here in 20-degree weather trying to put a concrete pad down. I hired a company to do this, because this is an art, putting a concrete pad down, like 4-inch pads. If you don't level that perfect, and if you don't get the right bedding and really pack down really well, you could have cracks in your concrete later on down the road. So I don't recommend doing it yourself. That's just not something I would want to do. So plus we have to have a little bit of a downhill slope, so this way the water runs away from the house. We don't want the water running up against our house. So there's an art to it, and I'd rather just have somebody else do that. Get it done. Take a chunk of money out and get it finished, get it fixed. I know putting the concrete pad is actually done. It's going to be cheaper, way cheaper, than trying to fix this deck and trying to keep it. So the deck's history. And now we'll have a concrete pad out here. We'll never have to worry about maintenance or any of that stuff. Maybe I'll put some sealer on it every once in a while, but nothing like the wood. The wood goes bad no matter what you do to it. it doesn't last a long time. It lasted quite a while. I'm not saying that, but it's really rotted in a lot of bad areas. But it's the boards, it's the deck boards that are bad, not the joists. So that's crazy. I just want to get this place done. I just really want to get nice. I'm going to put a grill out, a flat griddle out here. And because we're going to be 2.5 feet lower, I don't have to worry about the griddle getting too hot underneath of my roof. And because the roof will be high enough now because we'll be down at ground level. So that'll be nice. I can put a griddle out here. I'm going to fix this up nice, put some lawn furniture out here, put a nice table out here, make it nice. And it's no longer going to be a shop. I'm going to do something else. I got to figure out some other way I got a shed back there that I can gut and turn that into a shop out there. So I just got to bring somebody in to do it and then put heating out there. I'm thinking about putting a wood stove out there. I love smell of wood stove, burning wood and then working in that environment. Oh, that would be cool. And I'll make it very rustic looking in there. That's what I want to do. Very rustic. That'd be awesome for the YouTube channel. Just gonna rip it all out and, make it rustic looking in there. So anyway, I just figured I'd rattle on about everything that I'm doing here and trying to get everything ready and why I haven't been on doing any new videos in the props although since I've been doing that costume, I'm getting hit up from a lot of people. They want a Jason costume. So I'm like, wow, okay. I think I'm going to have, from now on though, I'm not going to use long johns. If anybody wants an adult costume of Jason, I recommend you to go get some spandex, spandex under and, shirt and pants. And that's what will put the flesh effects on. So the way I'm going to do the costumes for people, if somebody wants to order a costume from me, I already figured out the price, but I'm not going to say the price on live here. If you want a Jason costume, you reach out to me and I'll tell you how much it's going to cost. Personal message, private message me. But you're going to be left with buying your clothes. You're going to have to buy the outer outfit and the under outfit. I can get the mask, you can get the mask, you can get the knife, you can get it whatever you want. You send it to me and then I'll make the costume. And that's how we're going to do it, because I don't want to have to pick somebody's clothing out that may or may not fit you. So it's better that you shop for your clothing, you know what fits you and what doesn't, and then send me the costume, and then I'll do the magic to it. So, and it really turned out well. It did. That costume really turned out well. The only thing I don't like is the fact that the long johns, it kind of, there's the latex that's on there is causing a little bit of weight. So it's sags a little bit because of the weight. But here's the thing. I know that outfit's pretty tight on this kid, so he'll be okay. I know that his long johns are very tight on him, so that'll be good. That'll be perfect. This way that it won't slide or move. So if you decide you can't get the lycra or the what do they call it, spandex, if you can't get the spandex, then what I would recommend you to do is get long johns, but make sure they're pretty tight on you, because once I do the latex to it, it can sag on your long johns, and you don't want that. If your long johns are loose, then they're not going to be any good for you. So, but that's your undergarment, and I would get black long johns, or I recommend spandex. I think that's a better It's a better outfit. But do they make male spandex? I think they do. I don't. I don't know much about dancing, but that's what you need. You need the spandex. I think that'll be a better solution for the undergarments, and then your outer outfit can be work shirt. You can, depending on what version of Jason you want to be. So if you want to be a Jason Part 7 or a Jason Part 6 or 5, that's going to determine whether I use latex or I don't. It just depends on what your favorite is. I'm finding a lot of people do like that 7, that Part 7, because of the bones showing through and the rotten flesh. And then there's some people out there that like Jason X, so I think from Kane Hodder, everything Kane Hodder did was great. All his from 7 on, he did from Part 7 all the way up until I think Jason versus Freddy. I think he also did Jason X too. Yeah, I like Kane Hodder the best. I think he was the best Jason, but that's just my opinion. I'm no expert at Jason either, by the way. So I've watched the movies, not all of them. Um, I'm a big Michael Myers fan still. Don't get it twisted. But I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this just for one. I'm not into just doing one thing. I just can't. I love costume making and cosplay. That would be fun to really get into that. I would really like to get into cosplay. That would be fun. Um, so that's what's going on in my world. And I know I talked about stuff that were kind of not pointless for you guys, but all these little things that have been going on has been really hindering me as far as getting things done. So I wanted you to know that I'm not ignoring the YouTube channel. I just don't think it's very interesting to be filming me clearing off the deck or taking down the bench or doing this kind of stuff. This is not what you want to join my channel for. So, but I'll show you the steps. I'll show you the stages as this thing's being ripped out. It all starts Friday. Once Friday gets here, we're going to rip this thing out. Start it anyway. I don't know how far it'll get, but we'll see. Might take a weekend to do the whole thing. It may not. But then as soon as this is torn up, then I got to call my nephew up, and he's going to send his crew over to start doing this pad, this concrete pad. They'll do the forms, level the ground, put the crushed concrete down, do everything they need to do, pack it down so it's nice and firm, and then, we'll have a concrete pad here. And I like the idea of doing the concrete pad, just so much nicer. But it's going to stop me from doing my mold making on here. I can't do anything with concrete or mortar because I don't want it sticking to the surface of because that stuff gets all over the place. Doesn't stick to the deck, but it sure stuck to it'll stick to more concrete. I don't want that to happen, so that's something we're not going to do. So I'll have to figure out what and how I'm going to do my molds. I think I'm just going to pitch a heavy-duty tent out here in the yard, maybe on the side of the driveway here. I might do it right there, put a tent there and work right alongside here because everything's hooked up right here, so I can do everything right off this area right there. That'll be nice. So just got to figure it out, guys. I think it's going to be. I'm going to get that sculpture molded this week. I'm definitely going to try and, well, not this week, but next week. I'm going to definitely do it next week. As soon as they get this thing started and I can focus on doing the mold, I'm probably going to do it next week after the coming weekend. So I know it's Sunday now, so we got a long week to go. And I've already kind of pretty much touched up the sculpture, so it's almost done. I have to shape, the one ear feels like it's just a little too big. So I'm going to fix that ear and then, smooth it out a little more, just a little bit more, and it's ready for the mold. It's ready to be molded. And this time I have the dental stone coming this coming Friday. I think it's the 26th is Friday. That's when we're starting the deck. But my dental stone's going to get here then too. So I'll be able to make a really hard master copy. I don't want it to break like these last two did. So that's basically it, guys. I wanted to let you know what's going on. And I'll upload this video. But as you can see, the deck is cleared. So, and I also cut up those steps. There were steps that were leaning up against those posts that were literally 16 foot long. They used to be part of this section. See, this section got cut away right here. That deck used to go all the way out 16 feet from here and then all the way across. And the steps used to be right there in front of the going down. But this is where the old septic bed was, right here. And the deck was over top of it. And that was kind of stupid, but we had to literally cut that out because we couldn't. You can't have your deck over top of your septic bed. The box was under there, everything was underneath of it. So anytime something went bad, we had to rip up the deck. I'm not doing that. So this is all going to be cleared from now on. I won't have to worry about the septic system. The bed's all the way out there now. It's not here. This is the old bed. We just have the pipe that runs out all the way straight out, and then the bed's out there. So that won't ever be an issue again. But I don't want to put concrete over there because there's still piping and stuff that goes out there. So we're not going to do that. Anyway, yeah, this is just it's just an update of what's going on and why I haven't been on and all the things that are going on. So this is why I'm making sure that the pad just stays right in within these posts. All these posts, it's going to be completely square. Everything's going to be within inside the post, except for these two posts. The outside posts, the pad's going to go out a little further. Pad's going to stop about right here and then kind of go diagonally across. And then there'll be a river rock and stuff right where that post is in the corner. I can't cover that tank, the propane tank. I'm hoping we get natural gas at some point, because if we get natural gas, I'm going to have that tank removed, and then what I'll do is I will fill it. I'm probably not going to remove the tank. I'll just fill it with sand. That would be the smarter thing, because if you dig that tank out of there, that corner post is liable to be, it's not on the tank at all. It's not nowhere near the tank. The tank, it's close, but it's not, real close. Yeah, that'll unsettle the ground too much, and I'm afraid that corner might drop, so I don't want to do that. What I'll do is just fill the tank with sand, and from there we'll take a different approach. We'll definitely put concrete over top of it. So anyway, natural gas, we got to fight for it. We need it. It'll be cheaper. Propane sucks. All right, guys, I'm going to bounce. Have a wonderful night and a wonderful rest of the week. I'll do some updating during the week here to let you know what's going on. All right, I'll see you. Bye.